I'm like, hello. Okay, hold on. Okay, try this. Have I got any bras or incriminating things in the background? Because I normally do, guys. Okay, just my ugly table sitting over here. Is that okay? I do have my ring light. I mean, you can still see shadows back there, but not as obvious and obtrusive as the last one that we did. And that was a different light. It was like just like a fluorescent desk light. So I have diffused the light thanks to Jolie, who told me how to do that, like with an actual sheer dust bag from Coach, which was such a smart idea. Thank you, Jolie. And so I think it's okay. I've got all the lights on in here that I can muster or find, or yeah. I think this is just a little too high up. Girl, what do you know about being too high? That's a long time ago. Okay, I guess that's okay, because you can totally see my Nerds shirt. I don't know. What do you guys think? Okay, let me go and see if you guys are on. If my live is, yep, I can see your guys' chats. Hello, good evening. I was all serious and all business there for a minute, wasn't I? Boy, that's really swung out, isn't it? Some guy wrecked in front of our house. Again, this happens all the time, guys. Was it Sunday morning? Yeah, I think it was a couple days ago. If you hear Bill and Carter downstairs kikiing, Carter fixed this fabulous penne pasta for dinner. Hey, Dawn. Hey, Rachel C. How are you guys? And so she's cooking all the time now, which is amazing. I can cook. I'm a pretty good cook. I can hold my own, but I don't like to, and I never have. And so the kids always tell me, right? Amazon, it's on my video tomorrow, and I've got a link. But my kids still to this day are like, yeah, she wasn't much of a, I guess I was going to say much of a mom, but I wasn't, I don't know, we were on different schedules really, because I kind of worked not really graveyard shift, but it felt like graveyard shift, because when I went to work, they were asleep. And when I got home, they were at school. And so I picked them up from school. And of course, logically, you would think, well, you should have fixed dinner for them. But what did happen was they would get here and be famished. You know how it is when you get home from school? And so they would have cereal, soup, I'd fix them a sandwich, or they'd fix their own sandwich, because let's face it, I was lazy. And then it would always be the age-old question, which is, what's for dinner, Mom? What's for dinner? And so we did a lot of takeout. I mean, I didn't get to be 250 pounds, just, well, sitting on my ass, yes, but a lot of it was fast food and easy and boxed type things and shit like that there. So quick, you know what I mean? Like quick. And so, yeah, my mom, of course, she worked all day and came home and cooked the whole dinner, kept the house clean, did all the laundry, did all, she was super mom. But me, I was like, shit, I can barely go to work in the morning and pick y'all up, and I wasn't good at keeping up with laundry. I mean, I had a lot of shit going on because I was a hustler. You know what I mean? Like, I always like to do 2 or 3 things and have a few jobs. I like to have, my hands in all the fires, so to speak. So when I worked on the radio, I did all the remotes too. So any appearances. Yes, you did, MT. MT in the house. How's Montana? Yes. Welcome in. I'm so glad you guys came in tonight. But yeah, so it was it was hard. I'll say it was hard, but yeah, I worked all the time, and a lot of those things, as y'all know, a lot of rock, and because I worked in rock, I worked in upbeat CHR, which is rhythmic, like hip hop, basically, rap and hip hop and stuff. And so a lot of stuff that goes on is like young kids in bars, there's parties, dances, things like that. So I was, at a bar every other day or on the weekend or at a car lot. And then, then I would come home and get a few hours of sleep and start it all over again. So I was young, when you're young, right? You can do a lot more than what you did, what you can now, right? So, but yeah, all that to say, Carter's cooking. And I think that my kids kind of feel some sort of way about the way that we parented them. I think they did feel like they didn't get as much mothering and stuff from me than as they could have, but I was trying to hustle and make money to provide all of, I mean, Bill was too, but to provide all of the creature comforts, because y'all know I'm bougie. Hey Jennifer, hey Jen. And so yeah, that happened. That really freaking happened. That was how their life was. And Carter's the youngest, but she has, what I did Blue Apron, and I did for like a couple years, I want to say straight. What happened was my son, when he got into college, he thought he was going to order Blue Apron. Well, he lived in, it wasn't a dorm, but it was like, it was these apartments, like there's a common area and then there's, bedrooms all around and then a common kitchen and all that. They all had their own bathroom. It's a pretty big apartment and they all paid, accordingly. And he decided he wanted to live with his friends and party all the time. And he thought, I'm going to start eating good. Okay. So he ordered a food prep thing. It has been 10, 12 years, maybe even longer than that, but at least 10 years ago. And so it ended up coming to my house because he didn't want to send it to his house because he wasn't there all the time. So he sent it to my house. And then I would call him and I'd say, your 3 meals per week are here. Come and get your 3 meals. And they just started piling up in the fridge. Because I wasn't going to, he was paying for it. I was like, I'm not going to take your meals and cook them because I hate to cook. But, but ended up, he was like, just go ahead and fix them, keep them. And he canceled soon after. And then we started liking them. And then we moved from Blue Apron to HelloFresh. And so we did that for a couple of years. It was 3 meals a week, and it was 3 of us, sometimes 4 when Maddie was here before she moved off with her man and started her own family. So it was, 3 to 4 people. So I got the 4 person, and I'd be danged if we didn't really. I thought it was going to be, they advertise it like it's home cooked, prepped meals, and it's better for you because the ingredients are fresh and it's. When I tell you that we all gained weight on that it was good food. It was good ass food. I will tell you that. I mean, I'm not sponsored by them. Although you see a lot of YouTubers that do get sponsors from these food prep places. I'll take free meals per week, every, 2 or 3 per week. If y'all want to send them there, HelloFresh or whatever. But now I think I paid like 50. I did the math on it. And to prepare 3 full meals for 4 people, it ended up being pretty, cheap, like $18 to $20 per meal in the end of it. And that was better than eating out. It was more expensive to eat out at Arby's, for 3 people, and then, or 4 if Maddie was here. And then also we, if we cooked, not like now, of course, where, it costs $80 to prepare 1 damn meal. Like, I can see that the food prep service, if you can do it 3 or 4 times and make it stretch per week, it might even be cheaper than groceries, but I'm sure they've inflated their prices to reflect, right, the inflation of groceries and the cost of groceries. But I get that. So yeah, that doesn't make any sense. But still, I had done the math on it and we really liked the food. So I was like, well, hell, I'm going to get these food prep service things and go to town and start cooking, you know, not every night, but 3 or 4 times a week. And it was so good. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Kerrygold. I get mine. I get them in sticks and I get them from Sam's. And what you showed me today in one of the Crocs, the little Crocs, I get sticks. And I want to say I get like 8 sticks, 6 sticks for around the same price. So if you've got a big box store, that is your best bet. Costco, Sam's, that's where we get our Kerrygold. And I love Kerrygold butter. It is gold standard in this house, girl. We used it ever since, because Aldi used to have it. Y'all remember Aldi used to carry Kerrygold years ago. And then they did the old switcheroo and they started carrying the off-brand just called Irish butter, which is still kind of the same gold and green packaging, but it ain't the same thing. So then I was like, well, hell, now I'm hooked. But then Sam started selling it, so I was like, oh, we're good. But yeah, $11 for the little crock of it is insane. Because I think the last time I bought a crock, because we always buy the sticks, it was 6 something. It was almost $7, which I thought was insane at that time. I can remember seeing that and thinking, well, shit, I'll just keep buying the sticks, you know. You did. You got Land O'Lakes. Land O'Lakes is good. I like to keep our butter out. What do y'all do? Do you keep your butter out in a dish? Yeah, I have a Fiesta-ware dish. And I keep my butter in that. So I'll have soft butter for like toast and stuff like that. Because I hate to not have soft butter. And I hate to go in that damn dish and think I'm going to get me a dollop of butter out. And I'd be damned if somebody has not used the last strip of it and not put a new stick in. That happens here more than you think. Hello, Lori, Janet, Siobhan. Wow, no, Kerrygold and oh, really? Oh, it is good. Man, I can't believe they don't have it up there. God, if they had it up there, it'd be $25 a tub. Oh my gosh. Canada, they're feeling the crunch of the grocery. Are they feeling the same things we are? I'm sure everybody is, right? It's not just here. Of course, you know, there's a lot of shit going on here. I won't lie. Yeah, I can't either, Lori. It's the best butter though, right? Once you have it, and I started using it, I'm just randomly talking tonight. We don't have no talking points at all, but I just randomly started using it when I was doing keto coffee back when, I guess, no, it was where I work now, but I used to work super early. I had to be there at 4. I would make a bulletproof coffee is what they call that, and it would be with butter. You'd put butter in your coffee. I know it sounds crazy, but it is actually good. You don't really, it just makes the butter makes it more creamy or whatever, but so that's why I started using Kerrygold. And there you go. So turns out I'd always try to do these protein diets, and then I would have such terrible kidney stones, and then dumb me didn't realize, oh yeah, protein for what you do for the kidney stones is really bad for you. And so I have, in the last few years, decided that I don't need as much protein, but here's the rub. If you are dieting and you know what I mean, you are in a deficit of any kind and you're losing weight, your body needs more protein, but I can't have more protein. So now my hair's falling out. But I am taking, I need to take my damn hair vitamins tonight. I forgot to take them earlier, but I need to take them. I haven't missed. But I got my pee test. You guys remember, if you guys were here last time, you guys knew that I had taken a 24-hour urine test. I know it sounds crazy, but it is where you collect your urine for 24 hours and then you take a sampling of it, you check it all up with this chemical in there, and you pour out a little test tube of it, and then you send it off to a lab. Cool. I finally got the results last week and it was okay. I mean, of course, they always say you don't drink enough. You need to be drinking 2.5 liters a day. Do y'all know that 2.5 liters of liquid or water is 80 something ounces of frigging water? Like, okay. I'm never going to get there, guys. I mean, it's just constantly having a real water in your hand, a still water, not these, and just guzzling it at every 15-minute interval in all your waking life. Really. But, oh, hey, Dee Dee. You were doing the dinner thing. That's okay. Yeah, Marcia, right? What have you been doing? Is it coming back? Because this just started for me. So in the last, well, I'll say in the last couple months. But I feel like I have baby hairs coming in, so I don't feel as bad as, and I don't see as many on the counter and in the bathroom floor because our bathroom tile is white now. And so I was just sweeping up my hair all day. I mean, it really was literally after I got out of the shower and dried my hair. Yeah. Water is another things you don't just need to drink. Well, yeah, I kind of do, Dawn. Yeah, I need to actually drink. But yeah, so she was like, you need to have, 2.5 liters every day. And I was like, well, that's never going to happen. I didn't say it to her, but it was the PA. It wasn't my doctor, of course. And she said, lay off the protein, which I'm like, bitch, I don't be eating protein. That's not my jam. I know better than to eat a bunch of protein. I'll be in trouble. And then she said, of course, lay off the sodium, salting. So yeah. Well, yeah, on the still water and yeah, I get you. You did, yeah. I'm doing the hair vitamins now. I think this is my 3rd week or 4th week in on every day vitamins, 2 of them per day. But yeah, Jaynette, it's good butter. It really is. It really is. Yeah, but that was basically what she said. Like, up your water. Don't forget, I've got 2 more tests coming up, and then they'll discuss it all. And then she goes, you may be a good candidate for this drug, which they've known about for years and never friggin' told me about. Thanks. A low dose blood pressure medication, which does not affect your blood pressure in any way because it's such a low dose, but it does take the sodium out of your body when you have too much, when your body is in excess of sodium, which mine always is, I guess. And I've stopped salting. I don't salt food anymore. But these things have sodium in them too, right? So anyway, she said, that they may put, and I was like, yeah, that's what he told me, back in the summer. Like, what are we waiting on, guys? The 2 tests that I have done in December and the urinalysis? Like, okay. If I get another kidney stone, I'm going to be pissed. Right? I'm about to lurk for a bit. Okay, Dia, thanks for coming in. Oh my God, thank you guys for coming by. Cucumbers are full of water. I don't love cucumbers anymore. And I used to really get down on a, that sounds so nasty, but I used to really be into eating cucumbers, I'll say. Yeah. But I'd pile on the salt because I was a saltaholic until, I started having all my kidney stones. And this was the first time that the urologist has ever said, hey, cut back on your salt use. Your sodium intake is too high, and that's what's creating your type of kidney stones. And I was like, oh, light bulb, 26 years later, you going to tell me now? Thank you, doctor. No one's ever said it. They always just say, if you lost 45 pounds or 50, you'd never have another kidney stone. Oh, okay. This year's been really particularly bad. But I will say this. Also, small dose blood pressure. Yes. Right. That's what they're, yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, yeah, that's the whole idea, Dee Dee. So, that's a good, yeah. I didn't know. They never had told me. But, yeah, also, I will say this. I really wasn't 100% sure that protein did affect me negatively, so I gave it another try. Hey, bestie. Hey, Ad. I did give it, right? That was BS. I did give it another try at the beginning. I can remember in the first few months of this year, upping my protein a little bit because I wanted to eat less shitty food. And protein keeps you full, right? So I wanted to do not really a ketogenic because I know for me, ketogenic diets, whenever I've tried them before, has really inflamed my kidneys up and started the, stones to really produce and come out. And so I really, once that doctor told me, or that PA told me that the other day, like the protein, you've gotta, you can't, like, back off on your proteins. And I'm like, oh shit, okay. I mean, you need them to live, you need some, right? But I started heavily thinking about it, as you know, you get into your own head. Right, right. You love meat, and you know what I mean? Oh, girl, you love meat. Dee Dee, you love meat, girl? Me too. But yeah, I started doing like eggs and you know, just really focusing, especially I can remember doing the eggs and doing a protein drink and doing all this stuff to keep fuller when I was first, you know, trying to get below the 100 and I'll say 190 mark. And so it's really doing a push because when I was on the shot last year, I went from, I will say, October of last year to about April or May before I really started seeing any substantial loss again. So really started to try to pep that up and try to increase those numbers because I wasn't gaining any weight, but I sure as hell wasn't losing much at all, at freaking all. And I was ravenous, kind of hungry, so really was kind of getting to the point where I needed to be satiated, but also I didn't want to eat, and the meds weren't doing what they're doing now. I literally ate, Dawn, do not come for me, Dawn. But I will say this, yesterday I ate half of a sandwich wrap, which was like the whole damn day. And a pudding. I did have a snack pack pudding because I like those little snack pack puddings occasionally. And that was all I had. But I wasn't hungry. I was not hungry at all. Hey, Morella. So yeah, I was like, what the hell? Yeah, I know, Marcia, it just seems like it stops, but it'll stop and start. And I've been at this weight, which is right at 155 for, I don't care for y'all knowing my weight. I really don't. I'm very open about it. At this weight, I have been for a few months. I want to say I've been at 155 for a couple months now, maybe. Since it was warm outside, so probably August or September is the last time I saw any real good scale weight coming off. But I'm not gaining any weight. I'm not eating a whole lot. I'm sure as hell not eating a whole lot. But I did get up really hungry because yesterday I didn't have an appetite at all. And so I had my coffee, and then I ate that snack pack, and then they went to Chick-fil-A yesterday evening, and it said, you want us to bring you back anything? And I said, sure. I didn't know they were going to Chick-fil-A because I'm not a big Chick-fil-A person. I'm just not. I don't love it. I don't know why. I just don't. I mean, it's not bad. But like if I chose a place to run and get something, it wouldn't be Chick-fil-A. I don't really know what it would be, but it just damn sure wouldn't be Chick-fil-A. But anyway, it wouldn't be any of them really. But yeah, they brought me home one of those cool wraps, you know. And I'm not a big fan of those. I gotta be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of those. So anyhow, yeah, I did try to eat as much of it as I could. And it ended up, you know, they cut them in half, and I ate half of one of the halves, and that was it. And I was like, well, shit, I know I need to eat some food. Right. Well, I mean, Dawn, I do eat. I do eat. Like today, I've had a gang of food. I have eaten from almost the moment I got up until now. But I ate. Carter wanted a biscuit, so she gave me a biscuit, and I could only literally, I could only eat half of it. But that's a normal thing for me. And then I had a plate of pasta just now, which was the not carbaceous pasta, but she made it out of chickpea pasta. I don't know if you guys ever had it. It tastes like pasta to me. And it was kind of a cheesy with a tomato, like a vodka tomato sauce. And it was really good. So, I mean, I have had, and I'll probably eat another snack pack before I go to bed. So, yeah. Yeah, I get one good meal in a day. I try to, yeah. And some days, like Marsha and Dee Dee, you're on the meds too, and it's that way. I don't feel, yeah, chickpea pasta is good. She fixed a hell of a good meal tonight. And then over the weekend, she loves chickpeas. So she fixed this dish that had chickpeas, and then you topped it with like a aioli kind of sour cream. You roasted the chickpeas with the red onions, and it was actually really good. And it was like a sour cream. It reminded me of an aioli sauce, but it's not. But it's like a sour cream mixed with a little garlic and lemon juice, and it was actually really, really good. I don't know, I feel like I got a chive or something in my mouth. And I literally just um, yeah, started my live right after I ate. So, yeah, I probably still got a little something going on in there. But yeah, I like chickpea pasta, and she loves chickpeas. And there is another dish that they have. Oh, she made, last week, she made this sun-dried tomato pasta, which was with linguine instead, or spaghetti noodles, I guess. Angel hair pot, whatever. The thin, really thin, like spaghetti noodle. And that was really freaking good. And it wasn't, there was no sauce to that. It was basically like a little bit of cheese, sun-dried tomatoes, and some olive oil. It's really good. It's really, really good. Mm-hmm. I like cauliflower pizza, but I about burnt myself out on it from eating it because, yeah, it was a chive. Because of, you know, I don't know. I just ate it all the time there for a while. I don't know. I thought it was better for you. So I've been eating it for a long, long time, and I just got like a little burnout on it. Paula says, "Hey, Paula, I eat a small amount of soup for lunch. I cut up about 4 medium shrimp to add protein after I heat the soup up." Yeah. And to be fair, Paula is a very tiny, petite lady. And, you know, I don't know. I feel like it was, I'm not starving myself. I don't feel like that. But yeah, the lack of protein does cause your hair to, mhm. And I hate that too, because while I would like to have more protein to help my hair situation out, I definitely would rather lose a little bit of my hair as to have another kidney stone and go back into the hospital. So, yeah, girl, knock the freaking wood on that. Knock the freaking wood. Do you guys see this little? I think Johnny got me this for my birthday because it came in the mail and there wasn't anything with it. But I've used this as my meds tray now. Isn't this a really cool? They call it a racetrack tray because, you know, it's oval like a racetrack, but it's made out of like a, I don't know what it's made out of, but it's like a really heavy, like a ceramic dish. It's really cute. I love it up here. I'm sure it's supposed to go into your kitchen, but I like it sitting here as a trinket tray, and I just stick my meds on it. These aren't meds that I take. I take 2 of those meds, but those are always my kidney stone meds at the ready in case, just in case, right? I don't want any more stones. Jolie, did you? Did you get it for me? I think you did. Hello, Jolie. Oh, that's right. You're in Miami having your checkup thing done. Okay, I hope you're doing okay. Bill has his eye thing on Friday. He just informed me. He said he just found out about it. They send him a little reminder. That's how he keeps up with his. I'm like, don't you put it in your phone? He's like, no, they'll remind me. When they remind me, I think about it. And I go, well, okay. I can't live my life like that. He's very different than me as far as scheduling goes and being on time to shit. I cannot stand. Do you hear me? This is how it would be when and I have to tell you that little Leanne Morgan that does the comedy. I feel like her jokes and my jokes are very, very similar. If you watched her newest, she's got a show and she's got a new comedy special on Netflix. But we're about the same age. She's from East Tennessee as I am. Right? Well, I'm not from here, but I've lived here most of all my life. And she had 3 kids and I had 3 kids, and we sort of raised our kids about the same way. But when Bill and I used to take our kids to church, she did a whole bit, if you've seen it, so funny. Thank you, Jolie. I love it. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I texted you earlier, but I know you were probably traveling or whatnot. Sorry about that. But yeah, right. I put all my shit in my phone, Paula. Like, right. Thank you, Marilla. I just edited a new one today. So anyway, yeah, so when we would get our kids ready for church, it really was a freaking fight. And then we would show up to church. I mean, it was just like Leanne Morgan. Is that her name? Leanne Morgan? I think her last name's Morgan. The blonde haired lady. She's so funny. But she and I had I mean, if I had told a bit, if I had done a bit like she had done on the getting up for church and getting our kids, our three children ready, it is exactly, which I would assume every mother and parent of three children having, or any children getting ready for to go to church, because it was, you get up super early on a Sunday when you want to sleep in, and you get yourself ready, and then you have that moment of peace and quiet until everybody else gets up, and then it's, Mom, can you iron this? Mom, I don't have this. Where's my tights? I don't have shoes. I can't find. And it's brushing hair, and we didn't. I will tell you, we were CEOs. Do y'all know what going to church being a CEO is? Does anybody know? It is it is Christmas, Easter onlys. So we were those. But I will tell you, those are some of the most knockdown, drag out fights that I have ever had with Bill. Like, we've had some knockdown, drag out fights, but going to church pissed off seems very counterintuitive. And so finally, when the kids got to a certain age, we were just like, you know what? We're not going to go back. We are going to have our own service in our own home, and we're going to observe things in our own way. And so we quit it entirely. And when my grandmother was alive, we always went to her church because she loved seeing us. And Mother's Day we would go, and Easter, and Christmas cantatas and services and stuff like that, we would go. And so yeah, it got to be where it was just the worst. But she does a whole bit. If you haven't watched the Netflix thing, like at the end of her show, she does this whole bit on the going to church, and she is so freaking funny. And it's just as if her stories were inside my head. But I mean, it makes sense because we're right up at the same age. We have 3 kids. We've been married to the same dude for 30 some years. You know what I mean? And I don't know. We just had similar experiences growing up in the same area and stuff. So it's very, it's hilarious. I mean, I fashion myself to be sort of comedic too at times. And so I can imagine if I were a comedian, they would get me for copyright because I would have most of all of her jokes. Yeah, which is crazy. Okay, guys, I have to check one thing on my computer. Hold please, un momento por favor. Okay, let me just see, because as you know, okay, well, probably you don't know, but let me just tell you guys, I have been trying to get this drop since, I want to say Friday. Travis Scott, the Fragment sneakers, I want them so bad, but it's a lottery raffle type thing. So I guess you put your email. Well, I've already put my email in a couple of times, a couple of different ones. And then I guess I don't really know, but I've been watching this kid, and he's really sweet, young kid. He's probably the same age as my middle daughter, probably around 25, 26. I don't know. He's young. But he's a very sweet boy, and I've been going into his lives every day, and I know he's like, and I prefaced it with, hey, I'm a sneaker-loving grandma, so some of my shit's going to be old ladyish, because everybody in sneaker lives and sneakerheads, they're all young. That's a young kid's game, most of them, so. But I go in there to get information, and he's very good about saying, like, this is going to drop, this is going to drop, and so I have scored a couple of pairs this week. But I really want that sneaker drop. I really want those sneakers, the Travis Fragment and Travis Scott Nikes, Nike Low ones. I want them so, listen, I can't see nothing else. I don't want a bag right now. What I friggin' want are these sneakers. And I'm willing to go StockX and pay whatever. I'm literally, I want to go bag prices and pay Louis Vuitton prices for these shoes. And I think that's what it's going to have to take, because if I miss it, or if I, what they call getting an L, right? So you get a W, a win, or you get an L, a loss. If you hit, they say that. There's just a lot of terminology in the sneaker world. These kids are cute, but, and they've been very nice to me, even knowing I'm an old lady. I do like that they haven't been like, who's this old bitch in here trying to get some sneakers? But I can't help the fact that I've liked sneakers longer than they've been alive, probably longer than their parents have been alive. I can't help that I like sneakers, and all of the retro sneakers that they come out with are just right up my alley, an old person's alley, because we grew up with these styles and they're bringing them all back, and the kids really love them, but we freaking love them too. So anyway, hey Jen Coco, how are you, doll? Ed just loved giving you a hard time. So tomorrow, y'all plug anything you want. If you have a channel, let us know. Sound it out, baby doll. Put what you got coming down. Right? Dee Dee, we're sneaker hoes. We love it. Put in the, everybody subscribe to all of my ladies, Dee Dee and Dawn and Dia. All of y'all subscribe to those ladies, and everybody that's in chat. But they like that you appreciate what they like. Right. I think so. I guess we have some common ground, but I don't make any bones to try to be, in there with a bunch of kids, because I know they're all like 20-year-old kids, and it makes me a little embarrassed to talk about it. But yes, get Dee Dee to 2K. Let's get her there, guys. But yeah, put in there. You got some high top Chucks? Yes. I do love it. Look, I swear I got a little embarrassed, but then it kept rising. My face got red from, I guess it triggers my hot flash. I don't really know what this is. But I've always flushed if I got a little embarrassed, or a little, oh shucks, talking to a boy or something, or a little excited. I've always been a flusher, right? That didn't even sound good. But yeah, these kids are really sweet. But yeah, okay, so Thursday I'm having a guest live. I'm having Liz from Nothing But Bags. Oh, that'll be fabulous. Shout out the time and let us know, girl. Let us know. Yes, I love it. Now, Dawn and Jolie, so subscribe to Jolie too, and Jackie. But Dawn, and if I'm missing you, I don't mean to. I'm sorry. Ed is taking a hiatus for now because he's got 2 babies. But yes, I just love the shows that Jolie and Dawn, and then Jackie and Jolie still have a Wednesday night thing that they do, which is very entertaining and fun. But I do love the new setup with Dawn and Jolie, and they bring a guest on too. It's great. They had Helena on this past Sunday, and then before they had Dia on. So it has been a very entertaining and fun. Okay, Smiling Cats Couture, please let's help her get to 1K. And she's doing a giveaway, an LV multicolor notebook. Oh, girl, notebook. That sounds amazing. Yes. So push on everybody's face. And if you're not subscribed, go over there and check out these gals' channels, because, we all want to get around and support each other. Yeah, for sure. Jolie says, yes, MT. I'll bet you're about 6 years younger than me. Right on. Okay, so did you guys get to see, was I in the middle of a thought? I'm sorry. You know me, I'm flighty as hell. Yes, we got to get these girls up there. But yeah, did you all get to see the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame on Disney? Now, it used to be carried on HBO, but that's the parent company of HBO, right? That's the daddy of HBO. So I see now that Disney is streaming it now. In the last couple of years, it's been Disney, or 3 years. But I have to tell you, it is one of the most entertaining things that Bill and I have, I don't know how long, for as long as we can remember, as long as they have streamed it, or put it on. We have always enjoyed the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because, of course, we are huge music lovers, as everybody is, of course. But I just really loved. I love it every year. Every year, I think it can't top last year, and then it does, and I'm like, shit, oh my god. But I freaking love, but it makes me sad for some of the artists that they do posthumously that have died, and they give these awards to them, and I always think, shit, why couldn't you have put them in there while they were alive to enjoy it, right? But I get it, you can only put so many people in. The show this year is 4 hours. It's always 4 hours long. Hey Kristen, I've enjoyed their last two shows. The cat opening is great. I watch it later getting ready for work. Yes, they have a great show together. Jackie, Monday and Friday and Wednesday with Jolie, right? And Jackie will tend to go live just any time the mood hits her. So Jackie will buy something, feel shitty about it, that she'll go live. That's kind of what I feel like she does, but yeah. But anyhow, she said she was supposed to be organizing and cleaning stuff out. I hope she is. I hope she's getting to where, I hope she does whatever it is that makes her feel happy, Jackie, yeah. Are you getting organized? Are you getting cleared out and selling some of your stuff? I know that was a issue in one of your not last live because I didn't get to show up, but you did sell a few more. Okay, good. I'm glad that you are seeing that come to fruition. Jolie, just push on her face. It should come up, but it is Jolie's Simple Opinion, right? Is it that Jolie now? Jolie loves it. There we go. There we go. Yeah, it's right there. Yeah. Shit, I can't see. Jolie, I'm having planner dilemmas. I need to order finally. But anyway, if you guys didn't catch the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Cyndi Lauper, God. I know I've told many of you this story, but for those of you who haven't heard this story in the last little bit, in 1998, right around this time, would have been November, right around now, because artists drop their Christmas albums and then they do a radio hit, right? They do a big, and what it is they'll get an artist up at the crack of dawn at 3 a.m. and they'll start with this station. You've got 10 minutes with this station, and then they'll call your station. You'll get them ready. You'll start the recording, and boom, they'll say, we'll count you in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. And then you turn up the guest. They're live with you. That's how it works. If you ever, well, that's how it used to work. Now it's probably a different story. But anyhow, they would schedule these 10-minute bursts, and they do it with TV too. It's the same with TV and radio, whatever. Now it's, of course, streaming and all that. But so I know I didn't have my partner with me that morning, and I had to fly solo, and I was very nervous about it because it was one of the first times that I had done an interview on my own without my partner there. And so, but I will tell you, it was wonderful. So Cyndi Lauper was dropping a Christmas CD. And so it was 1998. It might have been December. It might have already been December. I don't know. But anyway, she gives me my 10 minutes of whatever to talk to her. And it was fabulous. It was freaking fabulous. And of course, they give you a sheet, like a one, and it says, don't bring this up. Ask her only about this. Let's don't talk about, we're really trying to sell this album. So, you have to kind of keep the conversation to what she's pushing, what the artist is pushing, right? So, I've had them even, I had one kid one time, one of the last years that I was in radio, he was best friends with Robert Pattinson. He was a British kid, and he was trying to make it. He never did go very far. But anyway, I interviewed him. He was really sweet, really talented, but he just didn't go anywhere. But they said in his bio that he was best friends with Robert Pattinson, but don't bring up the fact that he's best friends with Robert Pattinson, the Twilight kid. And I'm like, well, wait a minute now. Why put it in his bio if you're not gonna? But he did not want to discuss it. He wanted to be his own. You know, he didn't want to ride Robert Pattinson's coattails. He wanted to be his own artist. And I was like, okay, well, that didn't work out for you. But anyway, you weren't allowed to bring it up. But anyway, she had a sheet which had all of her pertinent info. And so I go live with her, and I record it too on a mini disc, and I still have it. I still freaking have it, girl. And it was amazing. She's the best interview. She's the sweetest freaking person I ever interviewed besides Didi Khan from Greece, who played Frenchie. Amazing. That lady's amazing too. She's a very thick, both of them, especially Cyndi Lauper, thick New York, very New York draw, you know. But she said to me, I don't know why we got off track of the album, but she had said all she wanted to say about her Christmas. I mean, what are you going to say? It has jingle bells, it's, you know, deck the halls. Yeah, pretty much we covered that in the first 3 minutes. And then it was just, you know, she literally wanted to know about me. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? Yeah, Johnny Carson loved. Cyndi Lauper was great. 1998, when I was born in 1969. Well, you would have been 39, right? Yeah. Right? 38, 39, around in there, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, so anyhow, that's so cool. Ed said, but he should have definitely rode those coats. I know, he was cute too. Right. Oh, I would have rode his coattails all the way to the freaking, you know. But anyhow, so we get to talking about me. She starts asking me, do I have any children? And I said, I do. I have a son. And she said, oh God, I do too. How old is he? And her son, Declan, she said, I don't know how old he was at the time. I think he was born in like 91 or 92. So he was a little older than my kid. And she goes, oh God, I love children. Oh my God, I just love babies. Are you going to have any more kids or something? It came around to that. And I said, well, you know, we love our, you know, our one kid. I don't know. I don't really know. I was pregnant. She goes, oh God, you should have all kinds of kids. I would too. I want more kids. I would love to have a house full of kids. And I was like, oh my God, that sounds so sweet. And she was like, but don't forget about it. Like, you know, have the babies while you can. You know, I think she asked me how old. I think I was no, we were in our 20s. Sorry, Jeanette. I said 30. We would have been 20, almost 30, not even 30 yet, right? You'd have been 29, babe, right? 78, 88. Yeah. 30, almost 30. Yeah, sorry, I told you wrong. God almighty. So anyway, yeah, she just goes into this, oh God, have all the kids you can have. Oh, I wish I could have. Like, yeah, like we were best friends. And I just will never forget her being such a sweet person and wanting to know about me, a nobody from Tennessee. And she's this big, you know, platinum, now Hall of Fame recording artist. And I just absolutely fangirl on Cyndi Lauper. So I did. I put you 10 years older. I'm so sorry, Jeanette. But anyway, she, you know, she was just wonderful. And I've always just had such a deep admiration and love for Cyndi Lauper because she's so kind. And she really is a genuinely nice person. I mean, from what I can tell, I mean, she could be everything else behind closed doors, but to me, she seemed like the genuine article. So she created the Kinky Boots musical. Yes, yes. Yeah, she does. She's very, very sweet. And, you know, she created that, her and her, I guess, manager created the True Colors Foundation for LGBTQ plus youth and community, in the community, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, never heard one bad word. Yeah, she must just be the genuine article. She must just be a super, you could see on the Hall of Fame, she was just very loving, and she did a freaking performance because she came out and she did True Colors. But man, that was so, she didn't do that one first. She did Time After Time first, right? And then of course, everybody came out on stage and did Girls, They Wanna Have Fun. How many times, that poor lady has sung, think of these artists, they've sung those same damn songs for 50 years, 40, 50, some 60, whatever. Chubby Checker, 70 years. But think of all the freaking time that they have had to sing the same friggin' song. And I think that Elton John came out and did a number to Joe Cocker, right? Was it Joe Cocker? No. I can't remember. But anyhow, he came out and did a number, and I feel like, and I noticed this they drag him out to everything. He's in it every year. And I love that about him. I've seen him live a couple times. He's fabulous, but he has a big, sheet music stand or whatever, big music stand in front of him, and he's sitting in a little, like a stool thing. And he wasn't playing the piano, but he has a big thing, right? And I know that you can see that he's singing the words to the song and reading them. And I'm like, I do not blame you. I've seen him live, and he hasn't had to do that all the time. But I am telling you right now, I put that in my video today. But I don't see how these artists remember these damn words to all these songs. I don't get it. I can sing a song and I never get the words right. I'm always the worst lyrics because growing up, we didn't have a phone which gave us the lyrics to the song. We had to guess. Or there were magazines. Remember, there were lyric magazines, but 9 times out of 10, those were wrong. And so I'm always puzzled when I sing a song incorrectly and my husband says, well, that really says this. And I go, oh, shit. Really? Like for years, here's case in point. I'll just tell you this. For years, Tupac, the California, and doesn't it say knows how to party? But I, for years, said no doubt about it. No. I'm totally embarrassed to say that, but it is so friggin' true. It is so true. Dawn says, I saw Springsteen in 95 with Tom Jones, which was acoustic. Oh, I know who you're talking about. Okay. The Manfred Mann song. But it actually is a Bruce Springsteen song, right? Yeah, he did it. But Manfred Mann was the one that made it humongous. And same with John Cougar. Didn't he do that Pat Benatar song, and she did it and made it a big hit or whatever? But yeah. Was it Ain't Even Done With the Night? I don't know. I can't remember. Anyway. Yeah, Nora, I cannot. I can sing a song that I've known my whole life and still get the lyrics wrong and still forget all the, like, how do they do it? How do they do it? I kudos to you. Like, hello, applause. I cannot. And then you have your boy bands and your Lady Gaga and your Madonnas that constantly, and Britneys and stuff, that dance the whole time. And they've got to remember these damn songs and the steps. And no, I'm done. I could never be the one. No, ma'am. No, I have to have a cheat sheet. Hello, Cindy. Hey, Kathy. Cyndi Lauper did the music for Working Girl, which premiered locally at the La Jolla, I almost said La Jolla Playhouse. Oh my. Yeah, they said that she had won a Tony. I guess for that, right? I don't know what it was for, but that sounds right. So yeah. Can I Irish dance? No, Jeanette. No. I can dance. Oh God, Salt and Pepper came out. Oh my God, that was the highlight of my night. Salt and Pepper's here, and we're in a fix. Want you to push it, huh? Oh my God. I tell you, I was having the time. Okay, so Kid and Play came out on stage. I don't even know what for. They didn't sing. But yeah, their producer, you know, the one that says at the first of the song, get on the dance floor and dance. You know, the guy that says that, that's their producer, Herbie something. Anyway, he came out with them. Of course, Spinderella spin it up one time. She was out there just looking good, salt and pepper. And then they did What a Man, and I'll be damned. I look over, I see 3 women standing. I said, that's In Vogue. And it was. I was like, oh shit, not In Vogue out here with the, oh my God. So friggin' good. Okay. The highlight. And then Outcast. My baby don't mess around because it can be done. Right? Friggin' yeah. And then, okay. Doja Cat? Is it Doja Cat? Yeah, Doja Cat came out and fucked up Miss Jackson. I am for real. She got to the me and your daughter got a special thing going on. You say it's puppy love. We say it's full grown. Hope that we feel this way forever. You can pack a pretty picnic, but you can't predict the weather. And see, now I've forgotten it. So I don't blame you, Doja Cat. But then she didn't, it was all gone. And then that's the part that ends up forever, ever, and ever. She messed all that up. She didn't get it. She missed it all. See, that's what I'm saying. You cannot remember the damn words, especially songs that you aren't your songs. You're coming out and trying to do a solid. Oh, God. Outkast was amazing. So glad they got in. So glad they got in. Like, yes. Now, I will tell you all this. I worked with, oh, God, I shouldn't tell this. No, I won't tell it. Oh, shit, I hate that I started to tell it. Anyway, okay, so anyway, if you haven't watched the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, please go on and watch that. If you have Disney streaming, it's worth it. We watch it every year, and I get chills, and I cry during the in memoriam, and I go, oh my God, I can't believe they died. They're dead? Holy shit, Angie Stone died? Like, yeah, there was a lot of people on there. I was like, holy shit. And David Johansen, I had no clue. Guys. Jeanette, what are we doing? What's going on, babe? Has anyone gone to see the river dance? Oh God, the story. And I like this lady. I have always historically been friends with this lady. And I know her brother, and like, I worked with a lady for you. Well, I would say I worked with her for a few years. She's now retired. She was in the radio biz with me, and her Facebook one year, which she put it on her Facebook, so I don't mind telling it. I'm not telling who the person is or anything. I'm not calling anybody. Not that y'all would know. You're not from around here, but anyway. Hey, AB, Apple Blonde in the house. Yeah. So anyway, she puts on her Facebook one year, you know, because they do the inductees in like May. They'll say, here's the list of people who's up for the rock and roll nom. And I cannot remember the artist, but it was an R&B or maybe even it was like Mary J. Blige. I want to say maybe it was an artist who I truly love and admire, and freaking was so glad to see her get in. She said something to the effect of, I don't see why they're putting a rap star into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's called Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I was like, ma'am. What I really wanted to say was different than what I posted on her little comment. I said, well, you don't have any problem with Nina Simone, Aretha Franklin, artists like that, do you? Because, Diana Ross, the Supremes, like, you don't have a a problem with the Chandra, like all those people being in there, do you? They deserve it. And so does Mary J. Like, mm-mm. Like Cyndi Lauper said in the show, she was like, rock and roll is just everywhere and everything. It's just far reaching and it's just everything. And it may not be your bag. That kind of music, the people, the artists that go in, they might not be your cup of tea, but that doesn't mean they don't deserve to be there. Did anybody say that Dolly Parton didn't deserve to be there? You better not, because I'm in Tennessee, girl, and that's our queen. She's our queen. So I don't see anybody raising eyebrows about that. So, and she's historically a country artist, but no. Yeah, that kind of, I don't know, right, Dawn? It just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Like, yeah, yeah. So anyway, I love to see it. I love to see all the bands and the acts and the hip hop artists and the rock and roll, like the mainstream rock and the alt rock and the album rock and the metal and the all. I love to see all that shit. I love to see that they all can be on one stage together and perform, and everybody's unified because it's music, man. We all come together for that. And that's kind of what Cyndi Lauper was saying at the thing. Like, if you get a chance to watch it, I know I've droned on and on about it, but it's just one of my favorite things to watch. And like, yeah. Rock was built on country and soul, and so was hip hop. And literally, like, if you love Elvis and that type of thing, those songs were historically sung in, jazz juke joints and stuff. So I'm just saying, that's where the roots of rock and roll is. Yep. Yes, Blondie Wrapped in Rapture. Yes, and it was friggin' amazing. And this person played that song a million times, I guarantee it. So yeah. I love all. Just, I can listen to all sorts of things. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Have you ever been to the Rocket? I have not. Ed, will you take me? That is one of Bill and I, if we could go to that, we could go on to our slumber and be happy and be, we've accomplished everything. But yeah, I really want to go. I want to go so bad. And I was basically like, we should have, y'all knew about my family reunion, which was not very far from Cleveland. Like, where my hometown is not too far away from Cleveland. South of Cleveland, girl. But if I had my druthers, we should have just skipped the family reunion and driven up to Cleveland and gone to Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We would never have forgotten it. And I told Bill the other day, I said, I guess we probably won't go back. Yeah, the Christmas Story house. Oh my God, I'd love to go to that too. But I guess we won't probably go back up to Ohio unless it's to see Ed or my other family that lives in Columbus and stuff. So, yeah. Marsha, you do not live 20 minutes from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You've never been. Oh my God. Marsha, if I could get a ticket to that show, if I lived where you live, girl, I'd definitely go to that. Like the nosebleed sections up at the top, just to see it would friggin' make I'd come out of there just hamburger meat for a voice. Do you know what I mean? Like, just, because I would just be screaming and singing and just, God, so good. So good. Every year, I think it's not going to top last year. Like, last year was the best. And then they did the in memoriam to Ozzy, and I cried my face off. I did. I really, literally did. And I told Bill, I said, it's too soon. I can't see this. But, he was like, oh, come on. You act like you and Ozzy were cousins or something. I'm like, we were. We might be. Now, my brother told me that, I don't know if I've ever told you guys this, but he did Ancestry, but he did it like, he researched our grandfather and grandmother's line back. And my grandmother, apparently her lineage is traced to a lord, a noble, I guess you call those, right? Royal, not royalty, but an earl or a duke or something. I'll have to find out from my brother. He'll send me the information of a man who apparently our descendants, right? Sims, a Lord Sims or whatever, Duke Sims, whatever. And he sidled up with Queen Elizabeth or somebody at the time. And then, it was a real like struggle between the monarchy then. And so the Queen Elizabeth's bid didn't pan out. And so apparently the king at the time had everyone else killed on some hill. And that has his, like our great grandfather or whatever, his resting place, like where he died is that hill where he was beheaded. And it does say that aristocracy. Yes, I was going to say aristocracy. Aristocracy, yes. I guess. I don't know. But my grandmother always, my grandmother always said, yeah, so we're related, Jeanette. But yeah, my grandmother always said that her family came over here with like the pilgrims and stuff, girl, from England, persecution in England, because apparently it didn't end so well for them over there. So they came here to a new world, and she said, now, my family, they had money, but they dwindled it all away once they got over here. And I was like, well, that sucks. Wow, we could have. She goes, yeah, that's why you're so bougie, I guess. And I'm like, yeah, it must be. Oh, that is so funny. But yeah, like King Charles' ancestors weren't the actual ruling family, right? Yeah. Right. Yeah. So apparently one of my 20 great grandfathers, twice removed, got his head chopped off because he sidled up to the wrong queen instead of sidling up to the king. He thought the queen was gonna, so he put all his cards on her, and it didn't pan out for all those that followed him. So yeah. Loads came after Elizabeth the First. Yeah. So yeah. I know that's the story. Like, I don't know any of this. Like, I've never read any of this historically. I've never researched it at all. But my brother actually pulled it up on his phone, and there was a page. This man had a page on Wikipedia, and that was, I saw. He said, "Look, he died. Here's where he died. That's his resting place because he was beheaded on that hill." And I was like, he goes, "That's a famous thing. Like, this is the thing." I was like, "Well, I'll take your word for it, bud." I don't really know. My brother looks like Bryan Adams, and Bryan Adams was on the show, and he brought on somebody on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and he looks so good. He still looks good. But I told Bill, I said, "Who is he reminding me? Oh my God, he looks like my brother. Like, they have the same glasses, they have the same face, same gray hair." Yeah. Yeah, my claim to fortune, and yeah, pissed away by, you hitched your wagon to the wrong star, you idiot. So there we go. That happened. A Christmas Story is my dad's favorite Christmas movie. Okay, so who has, show of hands, who has their Christmas decor up? Let's see it. I have mine inside the house. I do not have our lights and things up. And of course it turned friggin' frigid cold because Bill was like, we need to start stringing that stuff up. He was ready to put it in last Saturday. And last Saturday was actually pretty nice here. But since then we've had a cold snap, and it's like, hey Google, what's the temperature outside?
In Johnson City, it's currently 33 degrees.
33 degrees, which feels like 14 because the sun's down and the wind and all that good stuff. So yeah, and it snowed here yesterday. So yeah, I don't have any of my mom's side goes back to Cartier. Wow. Get us a bracelet. Yeah, I would never, until last year, I did not know that. I mean, I knew my grandmother had always said it, but I just kind of, thought she was talking out of her ass. I never really thought it was like, okay, grandma. But apparently it was a real thing. And my brother was like, yeah, she was telling the truth. Like, Like our ancestor was a lord or some shit, or duke or earl, or I don't know what you call it. Lori, yes, need some cheering up around here. Okay, babes, what are we gonna? What's going on? Started putting up the Christmas. Yes, yes. Okay, I feel you. I feel you. I see what you're saying. I got gifts wrapped, but not my tree's ceramic tree. Oh, okay. So we put up all of our Christmas stuff inside the house, but the how you know that thing of where you decorate, but then you just leave all the stuff around, and you really need to go through and clean it all back up. So I need to do that. That it needs to be done, but it started me thinking on this story from high school. And my two friends, Kathy and Kelly was the other girl's name. They were already in college. I was still, we all worked together at McDonald's. I was still in high school, and I think they had already started their first year in college. Well, there was this little old man that would come in and get coffee, and he was the sweetest little old man. And he lived in a little tiny apartment pretty close to where we worked, because he wouldn't, I think he would drive and come and get, you know how you used to, you can, you can't do this anymore. Used to, you could keep your styrofoam coffee cup that you bought in the morning and come back and refill it all day. And that's what he would do. For 48 cents, he would buy a cup of coffee. And then constantly throughout the day, he would come back. He lived 3 blocks from the McDonald's we worked at. So he would walk down, I guess. And he'd come in the lobby and get his coffee. And so, all us girls knew him pretty well. And he was a sweet little old grandpa man. He's just a little old 70-year-old man, right? White hair, false teeth, walked on limping a little bit. He was just a little old man. And so his name was Clyde. And so my little friends, my besties said, hey, you know what we should do? Clyde said he didn't have any Christmas decorations or nothing. Let's go to Kmart and we'll get a little tree, and we'll get some ornaments and some garland, and we'll go over there and decorate his house for him and some lights. And I was like, oh, okay, sure. Okay. Now, my little girlfriends, they were cute. They were little blonde-haired, blue-eyed things, And so just keep that in mind. And they were older than me, both built like brick shit houses. So, yeah, good looking gals. So we proceed to go buy the thing, the Christmas ornaments and the stuff, and then we, pile into Kathy's car and we go over. We go to Clyde's house. Oh, hey girls, what's this? Oh gosh, wow, where have you been? What's going on? So he invites us in. We set up his little Christmas tree and we put his lights around and just whatever. And then he corners Kelly and starts putting the moves on her. And I mean, he don't just put the moves on her. He pretty much gropes her and tries to stick his tongue down her throat. No good deed goes unpunished, guys. And we ran out of there like scalded dogs. I'll never forget this story. Every time I put my decorations up, I think of this. But we ran to the friggin' car. I mean, we like dropped everything and just said, ah! Kathy was like, let's go. He's trying to F her. Let's go. I was like, what? And then, of course, we went back to work and, right? We went back to work and he came in. Of course, we couldn't piss off a paying customer. So we kind of still had to be like, oh, hey, Clyde, how are you? Here's your coffee. Hope you choke on it. Yeah. So I cannot confirm or deny that one of us did not spit in that cup of coffee. I didn't do it, but maybe somebody did. Just saying. But how funny is that? Like it's sad and it's it's not good. But that story we just thought we were going over there with the purest and sweetest intentions to give an old man a Christmas. You know what I mean? Like he didn't have any relatives, didn't have any spouse. Now we know why. Didn't have anybody. he's just like, yeah, I don't have any Christmas stuff. Oh, I just don't have anything. God, can you imagine? How funny. I mean, now you can look back on it. Kelly was fine. She, was a little scarred, and I'm sure that was jarring. But I didn't remain friends with her after that first couple of years after we got out of school and stuff. I don't know what happened to her. I'm sure Kathy still is friends with her, but he wanted Christmas. He wanted mistletoe. I guess we hung up mistletoe, and maybe he thought, well, here's my cue. But she was white as a ghost. She was like, let's go, let's go. And she tanned all the time. She was a year round tanning bed gal. So you can imagine, 1985, she was like, oh God, let's get out of here. Oh God, he wanted his bells jingled all right. So common in the 80s though, fighting off teachers and old men. Yeah, I didn't fight the teachers off. I let them in. I said, "Let's go." I had a really hot ass social studies teacher in high school, or might have even been middle school. But after I got out of high school, when I graduated, I dated him a couple. It wasn't. I wouldn't call it dating. He wanted one thing. I wanted to have a relationship with him because he was hot as hell, and every girl in school wanted to be, with him because his name was Art. His first name was Art. I think he got married and finally moved down to Florida or something, but he was hot as hell, and I could never figure out what he wanted to do with me. But well, at first I couldn't figure it out. He would call me drunk too. He would call me drunk and be like, he didn't drive because I think he was kind of a drunk, and I think he got his license from a DUI and couldn't drive. So he'd always get drunk at a frat party or something and say, "Hey," he'd call me and he'd say, "Can you come and get me? I'm standing over here at the whatever Kappa Delta whatever house or whatever," and I'd be like, "Sure, I'll come get you." Yeah, and that happened. That was a summertime thing. That was a summertime fling because he had a pool. He lived with a guy that had a pool, and he would invite me over, and things went on. But I didn't do that with him. But we did things. He was hot. But yeah, I learned really quickly that. So I guess you're right, Jolie. That just proves the point. But I learned really quickly that he didn't want a relationship as much as he just wanted to roll in the hay. And he was really cute too. And I, of course, was always like bragging to my gal pals, like, "Yeah, remember when I dated Mr. So and so? Remember that?" And they were like, "Yeah, we remember." I'm like, "You can date him too. All he really wants is, that." But anyway, those were my two big stories. I put up my Christmas stuff. Love the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Yeah, not much going on, guys. Today we were off, of course. Anybody who's a veteran out there, happy Veterans Day. We honor you on this day and salute you, and yes, appreciate the hell out of you. And so there you go. Any active military serving now, retired military, was in the active duty, was a veteran, or is a veteran, like we totally salute you today and thank you for your service. And thank you, Jolie, because you are a service member, a veteran. And so we thank you. Hats off to Jolie. And we do appreciate the hell out of you. So we did get off from work. I had before I had to go to the hospital 5 times this year for kidney stones. I had all of we go in at the first day. I do anyway. And we're really not. I don't think we're supposed to do this anymore, but we are always taught to go in. You get a time to pick your vacation. You have to schedule it all year, right? So I went in at January of last year, December, whenever it was, and scheduled all of my days off, as I do. And I had to take some of them out and one of them was yesterday, because of the fact that I had, all these sick days, or had to use my vacation days for sick days this year. Hey, Jorgelina, how are you? Yeah, everybody. Thanking Jolie. That's right. We need to. But yeah, I wanted it to be a long, long weekend. Because isn't Veterans Day always on the second Tuesday of November? Isn't that how it works, guys? I believe it is always a Tuesday, right? Yeah. And so I always try to make any of these holidays or bank holidays or whatever they call them, government holidays, anytime we have one, I always try to couple that with another day and then, make it an extra long weekend. But I couldn't do it this year. So I worked yesterday and have to go back to work tomorrow. But like, glass half full here. There's only 3 days left till the weekend. So, I mean, hey, we're killing it. It's November 11th. The day actually changes. I didn't realize that. Okay. Yeah, I always try to make it a 4 day or I always try to do that. But yeah, it always, I will say this, Dawn, it always, for some reason, does fall on, right? They always take, so let's say the 11th is a Saturday or Sunday. Don't they always push it to either the Monday or whatever? Isn't that how it works? So you can have the actual day to remember, right? I don't know. I do not know. But I feel like it's, I don't know. I feel like I've stretched this. Yeah. Maybe I've added it on a Friday or a Thursday or something too. Yeah. It all okay. So you remember, oh, well, happy birthday to your youngest. Okay. Okay. Oh, it's always it never moved. Okay. That makes sense. I did not realize that. Some of these holidays do, right? Yeah, the 4th of July. I get that. Okay. Yeah, I guess now that you mention it, it does make sense. Maybe last year it was on a Monday and I took a Tuesday too. I guess it was on a Monday last year. And so I got that long weekend and then I said, oh, you know what I'll do? I'll add a day to it. So yeah. You get a holiday comp day if it's on a Sunday. Okay. Yeah. So you get, yeah, that makes sense because we get what we call a floating. Yep. 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 Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. That makes sense. Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know why I never put two and two together on that, but yeah. The baby is 20. Oh, man. Well, happy birthday. Not quite old enough to drink, but they can smoke and raise hell. I put my cousin's birthday was last week, and I put a picture of us on her Facebook, and put, yeah, cousins are your first best friends, which is true, right? And I meant that. And she's 11 months. We're 11 months apart, so she was born in '69. I was born in '68. And so I said to her, like, happy birthday to my bestie, whatever. And she said, yeah, you taught me how to drink and smoke. Thanks for that. And I was thinking, I texted her and I said, yeah, and curse too. So you're welcome. But yeah. Okay, I didn't know. Okay. He works for Meta. Gotcha. So that's the one that's like a software person, is that? 29, not 20. That makes a big difference, Jolie. That made a big difference. I was like, wait a minute, what now? I gotcha. My youngest is 18. Yeah. I sometimes get it off, but not this year and probably not in the future. My company has moved to flex time. Oh, yeah. I love to flex for everyone except unions, California, and international. Okay. Yeah, he's in Manhattan. Gotcha. So you can go up there and just stay for free anytime, can't you? Does he have a big enough apartment where you guys can go and just, chill out? That's kind of cool. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I love flex time, Kathy. I love to flex because that's, if you have to have an appointment and you need to get your 40, you can work a little bit over or whatever. But I hate missing a whole day of the week to try to flex it out because then you have to add 2 hours onto every single day. And 10-hour work days suck. I can't do it. You know, a lot of people do those 410s. I could not do it. That's not my jam. I could barely pay attention to 8. But God almighty, I don't see, I used to do 12-hour days. When they offered, when I first started working for this company, they did this. I worked in a different department, but we had unlimited overtime. So shit, you wouldn't tell me nothing, girl. I work 12-hour days every day. I don't give a damn. I get, 20 hours of overtime on my paycheck. Shit, that was good money. I've always been a hustler. I've always been somebody that wanted, like, how can I make an extra dollar, Don says we have flex, but just regarding start time. Gotcha. He wants us to, for sure. He likes to flex that he makes more than his dad. I bet. Yeah. Well, to live in New York City, he's got to make pretty good money because living in Manhattan is pretty costly. Hello. The company then took the floating holidays we used to have and folded them into PTO for those with over 30 years. Ooh, you lost 3 days. See, normally the long term people, because LA has worked for my company for a long, long time, so they get extra. Like they get grandfathered in on all this extra shit that we don't. They get the longer you work there, the more PTO and stuff you get. So, but everybody gets the same amount of what they call unplanned or sick time. And then, yeah, so right on. But at this point now, I remember being basically a what they would call what do they call it? Oh, shit. On when you're like tied to the clock and what is that called? When you're on production, like you have to be account for every minute. I don't have to do that thankfully anymore. But yeah, God, those were rough, and they eyeballed every little thing that you did, and you had to count for every damn minute, and that was hard. Um, but yeah, that was a harder life to lead when you sort of had to tell them every minute of your day where you were, or account for why you weren't at your desk, and why you weren't clocked why you weren't getting work fed to you in the system and all that. And now, I'm pretty glad that I'm not at that way anymore, but some people still have that, and you have to sort of do your vacations ahead of time, and you sort of have to compete with other people on your team for the days off. And the old timer people, like had been, not me, but that had been there, like you, Kathy, the lifers or whatever, the people that had been there for 30 years, they get first choosing. They would get first choice of their days off, and they would get first pick. And now we don't have to do that anymore, but some people still do. And yeah, right? You guys, 31 years. So, yeah, you get a lot of things that were grandfathered in, and those people. So, I think over 30 years, you actually get more. Yeah, you get more vacation time or whatever. You get a certain amount of weeks, like 9, 10, 12 weeks, whatever it is, to plan accordingly. Now, I buy a week of vacation, which is just kind of crazy because it's not really vacation. You're paying the company, right, for another week. So it's just like you don't have to go, but you're paid for because you're paying, like, it. You get it? It's a weird thing, but yeah. Jelly says operating room for over 30 years. I worked most holidays. What's a holiday? Yeah, Carter applied for a job and they gave her an over the phone interview. She wanted to be a florist at the grocery store down the road, which is where my other daughter started her working career, right? Hey Nora, are you a remote worker? Yeah, I'm remote, strictly home. Was 4 days in the office with one work from home day per week, but it's moving to 5 days. Oh, Nora, I'm sorry. So I did apply out. I did post out for a promotion, but I never heard back from it. I never really got a turn down, but I never got the offer either. So that didn't, I guess that just went away or whatever. But that was going to require full timers, uh, yeah, to go back in to the office. They call them hybrid workers. So you work a couple days at home and then you work 3 days in the office. So I was going to have to go back in for 24 hours a week for 3 days, but I didn't end up getting the promotion. So I'm still at home, which is a good thing. Right. And I really love the job that I am doing now. I'm still learning it. We're all still really learning it, but I do enjoy it and I like this work a lot better. Um, but yeah, yeah. I have a 25-year and a 30-year pin. That's awesome. Okay. I think we only get something when we hit 20 years. Yeah, ours was you get something at 10, you get an extra week at 10, and then you get something at 15, but they pull it back. And then you get an extra week that you get to keep at 20. Then 25, you get it that year of your 25th anniversary, they pull it back. And then at 30, I think they add another. So, like, yeah. So, and then we also get, like, used to, they gave us cash money as like a bonus type thing. But now we have this like shared website thing that's like gifts, like a point based thing, and you can get gift cards. You can buy a bag on there, girl, if you got enough points. You can buy a Fendi bag if you want to. But I mean, you have to have major points to get that. But yeah, you get like, thank you gratitude points and whatnot on this website. But you also get those for being, on your milestones. You're 10, you're 5, you're 10, 15, 20, 20. But you get so you get like a bonus, and it goes up, I think, in $250 point value points based every 5 years. So yeah, I don't care because I don't need anything. As long as I have vacay time, I'm good. Yeah. Yeah. And now we have an extra thing now, that which is good for people who like a dependent care, so many days a year that you can, like when Bill had his eye surgery, and when Carter had her toes surgery, and then she'll have another surgery, an outpatient thing, gynecological visit in December. I'm sure she wouldn't want me telling you all that, but anyway. Um, but we get an additional, like a care, like to give care to someone in your immediate family, like your husband, your mother, your father, your kids, right? If they have some sort of surgical visit, or you can't just do it for a doctor visit, but like an actual, like when Bill has eye laser treatment or eye shots, I use those days for that. So I can take, because I basically have to take care of him the whole day. Well, not take care of him, but you can't see because of the dilation and stuff, and so I basically have to take the day off, take him to the visit, drive him home, drive him anywhere he has to go to get meds, whatever. So yeah, that's a nice thing too. We get like 10 of those a year too, which come in handy if you have somebody that like, thankfully I don't have to take time off in my plan time anymore. We can use those type visits for that, which I'm really, really happy. Yeah, I know I do need an accommodation, and if I go back into the office, I'll get it probably for, as I've already talked to my actual supervisor about it. So like if I get a promotion, it would probably be a thing, because here's the thing: the new building that we built, I don't know why this was an afterthought, but there's no bathrooms past the front, like, part of the building. So where my team, which the job I was applying for, I didn't get or whatever, where I would have been sitting if I'd gotten the job, would have been such a hike to the bathroom. And me with my kidneys and stuff, I need to check that website. Oh God, I hope I didn't go. Ah! Did the sneakers go live? But yeah, it was kind of an an afterthought for this thing, the bathrooms, where they put them, and it is a freaking hike to clock out or to log out of your computer to walk to the freaking bathroom just to go pee, when there should be bathrooms close. Like in our other place, we had bathrooms kind of situated everywhere. Wow, I guess my computer died. So yeah, I guess, hey Yuta, hey girl. So I guess I'll get an accommodation if I ever have to go on site, because that's the one thing, like if I have, my kidney stones stuff, my kidney stone disease or whatever is kicking, it's a real, like I told my manager, I was like, my supervisor, I was like, I can't hold it, girl. Like when I have to pee, I gotta go. Like I gotta make a beeline, so being that far away is not ideal. So yeah, I could get an accommodation. How I first started working there, my supervisor at that time, or our lead guy, he would always say, you need to get an FMLA thing because you've got these issues. Okay, it didn't drop. So the sneakers, I'm looking for the sneakers. Oh my God. Yeah. I don't know if y'all can see that if I turn my computer. Oh, well, I can't turn it around now because of my charging cord. But you can't see it. Shit, sorry. Anyway, the new sneakers. I really want these sneakers, guys. I don't know if I told you. Are we going to witness a purchase? Well, guys, I was gonna end the live if those damn things started going for sale. These sneakers, I was gonna be like, well, guys, I'm gonna have to do sale on you because I gotta focus on getting this damn raffle to purchase these sneakers. Well, you know that the Louis Vuitton Nike collab, what was it, 3 years ago, 3 years ago? God, I wish I got in the waiting room for that. I'm sure we all did. These are some Travis Scott Nike. They're Nike and Fragment and Travis Scott low ones. Air Jordan 1 lows. They're called, with a collab, the guy from Fragment. It's a young thing, I don't know. But these sneakers are so freaking cool. I want them so bad. Those are what I'm looking for. But yeah, when Nike dropped with Louis Vuitton, I got in there. Like I got in there and I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna get these sneakers. And I would have taken any size because I wasn't gonna wear them. I was probably gonna flip. Right? That's the thing in the sneakerhead thing. That's the thing they do. They either are you gonna keep or flip? You gonna keep or flip? But I was gonna buy them solely to flip because them dogs go for like $5,000 or better now. Like you can sell a pair for a lot of damn money if you were lucky enough to get in the raffle and get into the room, or your SA pulled favor for you and grabbed a pair for you. But I didn't get them. I did not get them. But yeah, I wish I had. I would have just taken. Who is she today? My brain is. What was it I tried to say earlier? Aristocracy? Oh my God. I would have taken. And what's another thing that people say a lot of? I know there's another thing that people say a lot. Boughten. Have you ever noticed people say that a lot? Like, because I watch a lot of people who do unboxings, not just bags, but everywhere. A lot of shopping videos. And they all say, like a lot of people, it's a common mistake. And I have been, I just said tooken, so I'm one of those people who messes up the English language so badly. But yeah, boughten. People, you just say have bought. I have bought. Not, I have boughten or whatever. But they use that word wrong quite a bit. And in my line of work, when we're on these, I have Zoom calls all day long, which is fine. I don't mind that. sometimes, but what is it? Not indices. What's the other? Applicable. Applicable. People say, I don't know if I guess either term, either way is right or correct. Hey, Candy, you lost 2,600 at the casino this weekend, and I'm dying inside because I could have bought. Oh my God, I know, girl. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have any words of encouragement. I've been there. I've lost some money, and most of my money's not lost at the casino, but it's lost in crazy shit that I buy. But yeah, it's the same feeling. I feel you. I feel you on that. I'm so sorry. Oh, Candy. Babe, you'll make it back. You'll make it back. You'll get it back. Yeah. It is. It is a oh yes. Oh, I feel for you, babe. God. Oh my God. My heart goes out to you. Were you up a while and then you thought you just put it all back plus? Babes. Yeah. That is tough. Oh my God. Oh, you can say either, Dawn. You can say applicable or applicable. I love to say applicable because that's how I learned the word. You know, instead of like bankers will say for indexes, the plural of index is indices. And so those things kind of wait, what? But yeah. But yeah, I like applicable instead of applicable. But yeah, potato, potato. Candy, I'm sending you hugs, girl. Oh my God. Man, oh man, oh man. But listen, are you going to get a Christmas bonus? Do you have any bags that you want to sell? What can we do to make this money up quick? We got to figure out something. What can we do? Damn. I got bags to sell, but nobody's really buying bags right now. I had 3 reach outs. Reach around. I'm nasty. I had 3 people reach out on, I posted, I think I posted it on my YouTube post last week, and then I posted it on my Instagram this week on, some bags I don't want to sell. And I did thankfully sell. I sold, yeah. Yeah, girl. Thank you. Hell no, I'm not selling my nice bags. I feel you. Okay. Okay. I'm always trying to think of how about work? Can we do any extra hours at work or anything to make up? Like, I'm always thinking, like, that's my first thing is like my mind goes straight to, I'm out this money, but I'm going to make it up. How can I make it up? And it may not make it up today, but eventually, right? I embarrassed myself the first time I said compromise. Why? You know what words I don't get, Kathy? Yeah, nobody's buying unless it's free. Is comparable or comparable? Like, at what point do you use the word comparable or comparable? Or are they interchangeable? I don't think they are. Like, you're saying, like, I can buy this, which is comparable to this, right? I can buy this bag, which is comparable to this bag. But aren't you saying, aren't they both comparable? That one, I never know. Sunmi, hello. I never know either. Really? Okay. I'm always like scared to use comparable or comparable because I've heard it both ways, but I didn't know they were interchangeable. I thought because comparable is comparable, right? Yeah. But anyway. Oh, compromise. Oh, I got ya. I'll never forget. I think I was in 2nd grade and the word was new, Knew. And of course, we were sitting Indian style, or you can't say that anymore, cross-legged. I apologize for saying that. I shouldn't have said that. But what they said, when your teacher said get on the floor, you had to sit crisscross applesauce with your legs crossed, right? And what we used to term that as that. Okay. And I apologize if I offended anyone. I didn't mean to. I'm old, but that doesn't excuse it. Anyhow, when you used to sit that way, I will never forget that. I was sitting on the floor with my friends and we were looking up at the teacher and she was trying to teach us to read and she, was pulling out flashcards. And she came to the word Knew, right? Picture. Yeah, when people say picture is right, right? But picture is not right. I cannot say the word. I don't even know what that word is. Debenture? Debenture. I don't know. But anyway, the word was Knew, and I was blah, 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 talking. And my teacher said, Winnie, what is this word right here? And I said, canoe. And of course I was wrong and very embarrassed. Picture, yeah, picture. But picture, yeah. So yeah, I did say canoe. My teacher was like, no, the K is silent. We need to pay attention. And one time I think I was in 3rd or 4th grade, and we made these. This was the most terrible. I'll never forget this day. We made these things in art, or in our art period or whatever, for our mothers. It was Mother's Day, and someone had bought us a block of wood, and we took construction paper and cut out a heart, and then we wrote Happy Mother's Day on it and shellacked that to the board so that your mother could keep it for all eternity in the 20,000 other junk drawers of stuff, right? So I will never forget debenture, promissory note, right? Oh, okay, I did not know that. Promissory notes. What really kills me now is hearing the younger generation call everything aesthetic. Yeah, everything is. Yeah, they are not using. They're using it as a noun, and it's not. Or is it? Let's see. No, everything. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, and yeah, that's my aesthetic. Oh, girl, the aesthetic is of the room, the way the pillows and all the right. I cannot say Neapolitan. I want to say Neapolitan. I always say Neapolitan. Always. Yeah, Napoleon. Soon me, it's Napoli. It's Neapolitan, right? Not Napoli. What? Yeah, but not Napoleon. I always thought it was Neapolitan, but I always say Neapolitan just to be funny. Maybe that's a Philadelphia thing. I've never heard it pronounced any other way than Neapolitan. But, it's probably a Southern thing. But yeah, so anyway, we got our blocks of wood. Napoli. I don't know what you're trying to. Napoleon. Napoleon. I'm gonna have to look that up and have to hear it. I can't hear it in my head. Napoleon. Napoleon? Napoleon. Wow. That is the first time I've ever heard that. Yeah, right? She will send me a voice note. Yeah, soon me. And then I'll know. But I will never say it that way. Yeah, aesthetic is an adjective. Yeah, it's not a noun, but people do make it into a noun, and it's really not. Yeah. The math is not mathing. So anyway, I put my thing on there, and I was so mad at myself because I didn't plan ahead. If you don't plan ahead, right, you plan to fail, right? That's how it is. And I started writing really big, and I got to happy, and then I don't know, maybe I tried to put happy and mothers on the same thing and then day at the bottom like everybody else was doing. And my heart wasn't wide enough and my writing wasn't small enough. And so the word mother had to be halved. So it was MOT and then a dash, an HER. And that broke my heart. But I was very jealous at my neighbor who had a beautiful one, the girl standing next to me. And I was very jealous. I'll never forget. Envy is the thief of joy. Remember that. Do not get jealous of people. Be happy for people. But I couldn't. And my first instinct was to be jealous. And I said, I guess we're not like Julie. And my teacher got so mad at me and like really started shouting at me. And I got really embarrassed. And I guess I'd been a bitch ever since then. Ever since then. But yeah, I will never forget. Like, and I don't even know who the kid was, but I said something like, "Oh, we all can't be like Julie, who's beautiful." And my teacher said, "Winnie, do not like for being jealous." She called me out for being jealous, and that's no way to act. You know why yours doesn't look great because you didn't plan ahead and you didn't space your letters. I was like, yeah. So I wasn't an overachiever. I was kind of hell, I'll just phone it in. I think Sumi says, I think the problem is our language is changing a lot faster now. I even looked up aesthetic and it has it listed as an adjective and a noun. There we go. That's because the kids, mean girl, right? I was. And that little girl didn't do anything but do hers well. You know, she didn't do anything to me. I was just jealous. I was just bitter and jealous that mine looked like shit. And she would not let me do it over because we had started shellacking already, I guess. And I guess the construction paper, I couldn't make a new heart. And she was like, no. But, you know, to this day, I could have turned that heart over and put it on the back. But whatever. I was very jealous that her heart was all spelled out nicely and even and on the same line. And mine was, I think my mom kept that for years. It was a constant reminder of my failure. Yes, Steph says aesthetic can be used correctly as an adjective. For example, the cafe has an aesthetic interior, or the film's aesthetic style is stunning. But when people say things like that, so aesthetic, right? Your outfit is so right. Yes, that is seared into my brain. I think I was in the 3rd grade. I really do. Yeah, because 4th grade we were in a different building at the same school, which my little Jameson goes to my little elementary school. They've redone it all. It doesn't look anything like when we were there. I think they kept the gymnasium, and that's it. Yeah, the more we talk, we change it, and it's so much easier to talk to so many people. But Yota, did you know, the ice cream with the 3 different flavors, did you always refer to it as, I mean, because we're in the South, have your people always called that Neapolitan? I did not know it was pronounced any other way, because I have done ads for that word. Like, I've heard advertisements for grocery stores for that word. And I have never heard it pronounced any other way. Seriously. Yota, what about you? Right. It must be a South thing. Like, we were just never taught the right way, and no one ever said it the correct way. My mother's an English teacher. Oh, yeah. My grandmother worked for the local college, my alma mater. And she worked in the mathematics office, but she was a very, she hated, what did she hate when we said teached instead of taught? She hated stuff like that, and she would never let me say the word ain't. If I was in a room or in a place with someone and they addressed me, I was to say ma'am or Mrs. So and so. Never ask for food at a person's home. You go in as a guest, sit down, don't speak until you are spoken to, and reply in yes ma'am, no ma'am, thank you, and please, and thank you, right? Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, when I had a few journalism classes, but I was a communication major. And so for production, which we did, I don't know why we did this, but some of our assignments would entail us being in front of a camera or on tape, doing just a huge list of words like chartreuse, bourgeoisie, things of that. And we were graded on how we, pronounced or how we spoke those words. And so we had lists of those words of different. And then my minor was business, and I took a class with Dr. Ryder, who I loved. I don't know if he's still around or not. I think him and his wife moved out west somewhere, but they would be pretty old now. But I had a really great teacher in my minor, I'll never forget, and he did impromptu interviews. And this little guy, he was from a place called Bain Station, and he talked like this. And he was just the sweetest little old thing. And he was a cute little guy. Matt, I think his name was. And he'd say, I done walked over there and got me a soda pop. That was how he spoke. And I will tell you, he failed that. My teacher gave him an F. An F. You hear me? An F on those. I'm at an A. Thank you. But on those impromptu interviews, and he recorded them all and then played them back to the class, and it was very embarrassing for that kid because he didn't, he didn't use proper grammar and English in a way. And so the teacher, my professor, failed him. I think he said, there was a question, and he said, no, I ain't got none of that. Or something, to that effect. And he said, no. When you are in a business type situation and you're in an interview, you cannot lose your Southern drawl, but you can use the proper grammar and English in every situation, and you need to rehearse that and get it right. So, yeah, that was sad. It was really sad because he's just he's just an old Southern country boy, and he lived in a town that you could throw a rock from one end to another, and that's how that's how he spoke. And he'd say things like, I brung my lunch today. What'd you do? You know what I mean? And that was just how he grew up, and no one ever corrected him, and so he didn't know, and that was sad. But yeah, he didn't fail the class. He didn't fail the class, guys. He got a second chance, but he did fail that. It was a big test. It was like a test, impromptu interviews. So yeah. Yes, we have, and I am so glad to have it. Listen, I use my AI. I work 8 hours a day. I probably use it 7 hours and 55 minutes. So that I use it. Listen, I use it all day, every day. Yeah. I don't send an email. I don't even send an IM to anyone unless I run it through an AI. I don't. Nope. My resume, anything that needs a looking at, I run it through. Yeah, I just like it. Yeah, it was his dialect. Yep, it really was. And it was the way that everyone in the place where he grew up spoke. That was just it. And he did not, he probably knew. He just was never shown or taught. And it was, I just will never forget when we went over his interview, his face just becoming, I thought he was going to cry. His face got so red and he was so embarrassed. And I just really had empathy for him that day. I wanted him to be able to redeem himself. And I wanted us, I was really kind of mad at the professor for doing that. It wasn't fair. And we all spoke about it after class when the professor was gone. Like, wow, that was a tough break. I'm sorry. And it was it was a sad day for him. I just felt really empathetic and sad for him and like wanting to crawl out of my, how you get sideline cringe for someone else, or don't say cringe. It wasn't cringy. It was embarrassment. It was a sideways embarrassment for him. I felt really, really bad for him, and he was a sweet kid. He probably went on, he's probably a millionaire now. That kid probably cornered the market in something. Who knows? He was smart. Who knows? And he was taking business. That was his major. He was in these classes. That was what he was going to do. He was going to be a business type person. And my teacher, my professor was just like, no, you're not going to go into any interviews winning the job over like that. I mean, I guess that helped him, but also ChatGPT is often wrong about facts, but it's okay for grammar. Yeah. Yeah, but we have our own. Our work has our own AI, right, that we use. So we have a couple. We have several AI generators and things. We have one in our own, IM Teams type thing that we can just access and blah, 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 blah. Hey, Jan, how are you? Glad you could make it. I'm glad that you guys got here. This shirt is scratchy as hell underneath the, if you're wondering why I keep doing this, it's kind of scratchy. Yeah. I washed it, but I didn't dry it, is I think my problem on this shirt. I was afraid to. I don't know why. Sometimes I don't dry shirts, and then I think, what the hell? You're not as big as you used to be. You could, your mind doesn't equate the size that you are now. If you've lost a bunch of weight or you gained a bunch of weight, you see yourself as one thing. You don't really. It's shocking to put on clothes and they be big or small, right? It's a shocking thing. So I am trying to get used to that. Thank you, Jan. Sumi says my work one for your AI for spell check has a love-hate relationship with commas. Sometimes it wants you to, right? And it brings up that little squiggly in the red, and then you click on it and it goes, oh, you needed a comma here. I'm like, too many freaking commas, dude. There could be a comma here, but we don't need it. And are you guys of the age? Well, you guys are my age, right? I double click after a period, a double space after a period when I'm typing. But you're really not supposed to anymore. I saw this thing on TikTok and it said, we know you're over 50 if, or we know you're a Gen X if you double space after a period. And I was like, oh, wait, you're not supposed to? I guess not. Yeah. Yeah, right. I'm in a habit of I don't dry. Like, I do dry my jeans now, but that wears jeans out. So I've been in a habit most all of my life not drying, denim. Because it will draw up and it will wear them out quicker. So I don't like to, but yeah, I can't stop it either, Kathy, because I took from 7th grade all the way through I took college keyboarding, they called it, but I took I was good at typing, so I took it as much as I could because I made A's in it. So I took it all the time, all the way through college, and it was double space. You don't double space? You weren't taught to, Dawn? In typing and keyboarding? You're kidding. Yeah, you do a period and then dun dun. It's just the thing you do. Yeah, most people over 50 like that was how we learned to type, right? From 7. I learned shorthand as well too. So I can do shorthand like a mother effer. Like, taking notes for me was easy as hell. Dawn, you never heard that was a thing? You didn't have typing? You guys didn't have it up there. Oh, you do? Okay. You heard no double space. I get you. I got you. Right. It's not a thing anymore, Dawn. We were taught that way. Can you believe it? Like, I didn't know till really, like, within the last few months that people don't double space anymore. That's not a thing anymore. Mind blown. Yeah, like cursive. Like my kids can't write in cursive. Well, Taylor can because he's in his 30s. So he can, but my younger two, they can't. It's, yeah. Yeah, it's, what's the opposite of cursive? they, what is it called again? Uh, I only had a quarter for typing. Oh, really? No, I had it. Every time I could take it as an elective, I took it. And then I took it in college or in high school 1 year because that was one of the like electives you could take. And I was really good at typing. At one point, I could do like 60 to 70, maybe even more words per minute. Like I was a really good typist back in the day. I can still type pretty fast, but I can't guarantee they won't be with mistakes. But I mean, you use backspace and go now. They ditched the double space once computers started using proportional fonts. Steph, you were so smart. You only needed that extra gap when the letters took an equal space on a typewriter. I did not know. I did not know. Lori, right? My kids always are like, Mom, sign my name. And I'm like, why can't you sign your name? They're like, because they didn't have it. They didn't have it in school. So it is a lost, it's an art. It really is. It's a lost art that will die with us. I still do too. I write all of, like if I write you a card, you look at my cards. If you guys see my cards, I will write you, Dear Dewan, in cursive. Yeah, I don't write in, what's the opposite of cursive again? I don't write in that, yeah. I can't think of the word of it. Shit, that's how much I know. I had a whole semester of typing in 8th grade. When I attended, my parents took me to Vegas when I complained about the bullies. What? I love that. Your parents were cool. Can I just add, Just Beth? Hey, Beth. I love it. How are you doing? Can I just add my 2 cents to discussion about the pronunciation, about the 3 types of ice cream? I just saw it. Okay. Napolitan is an Italian pronunciation. Neapolitan is the American. Thank you. Beth, I thought I was losing my damn mind on this. It makes sense because Dawn's Italian. Thank you, Beth. Me and Yota were over here like, what is going on? We were like you know those things, I don't know if you guys ever see this. Thank you, Beth. But do you ever see these things on, the mandala effect? So didn't you always think that the Berenstain Bears were Berenstein growing up? I mean, I know it's just the way that our eyes saw it, but it was really the Berenstain Bears. And then also the Fruit of the Looms underwear, the Fruit of the Looms logo. Didn't you always think there was a cornucopia with the fruit falling out? There wasn't. But these are things that we held to be, in our own minds, a lot of us thought were real. And now we learn that, oh, it's the Berenstain Bears with an A-I-N instead of Berenstein Bears, which a lot of us thought that's what it was, because I know I did. And so it's like when Dawn was like phonetically putting that word out there, I thought I had slipped into a mandala effect and was just, it took me out of my words. Did you guys notice it took me off my words? Yeah, there's no cornucopia. There never has been. Fruit of the Loom says to this day, they have shown their logo since the early 1900s. And it has no, there's just been a bunch of fruit. Right. Mind blown. Right. The Mandela effect. And the multiverse. Right. Yeah. Some say that when the super collider was turned on, that we shifted a little bit into another reality, into another multiverse, right? Into a different universe, a little bit. And those things that we all thought in our minds were things are not now. Look that up on YouTube. You'll get into a hole that you cannot get out of, or TikTok. someone thrifty who found it with it, and apparently people make fake ones, right, to mess with people. Yeah. A lot of people doing the Jiffy peanut butter. I don't remember Jiffy peanut butter. I do remember Jif, but a lot of people say there was Jiffy peanut butter. So, yeah. And I swear to God, Dawn, when you type that out, did you notice I was taken out of my words for me? Because I thought, oh shit, I'm having a Mandela effect or a stroke or something. Because that's what? And then I had to ask Yota, because Yota and me lived out here in the South for 50 years. So we said, Yota, she said, no, I never. I said, God dang it, me neither. Thank you, Beth. You saved me a whole night of just laying awake like this. What? The one I thought was that it was Chick-fil-A. Right, right. Did you really? I really did think the one that gets me is the Berenstain Bears. To me, to this day, I will stand and die on that hill. That it was. I just thought it was that. Woman roaring, hey girl, Jiffy popcorn, the one that you cooked on the stove. Yeah, that's right. And they had a red, remember the inside of the foil was a red Jiffy with like an exclamation point, right? If I'm remembering correctly. But now we didn't get that popcorn because that was expensive. And my grandmother and my mom both were like, well, shit, we've got a popcorn maker, or I can just do it on the stove for you. So, they would buy a bag of popping corn. And we never really got the Jiffy Pop popcorn. But I saw it. I mean, there was maybe an occasion where I could buy it with my own money. But no, we didn't get that. And that was the funnest kind, the Jiffy Pop. On the, in the aluminum foil, and it would pop, 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 and then you tear it open and the steam would come out. And of course now there's microwave popcorn, and no one's ever done a kernel of corn on the stove since. But we had a big, yeah, it was a treat in my house too, and Rapples. Yeah. But we had a big, it looked like a big like hairdryer type thing. And it had a big base on it. And then you'd open the thing up and you'd put the popcorn in there, and you'd put butter and stuff. And then you would, close the thing back up and turn it on, and it would spit out the corn, kind of like at a movie theater. And we had one of those at my mom's. But my grandma, she just had an old cast iron skillet or a pressure cooker, and that's how she would do it. She'd put either oil or fat back or butter in a pan, and do it like that. And it was a treat. It was a treat either way. I loved popcorn. In your teeth all the time, though, right? Like remembering Luke, I am your father. When Darth Vader actually said, right, no, I am your father. Right. It's things like that. And when you hear it again, you go, okay. There's other movie lines that people, and I'm bad for it too. I will remember it a certain way, but when I see the movie, because I watch the same damn movies over and over again, especially holiday movies, I will say to my, oh, I thought that was, yeah. Kathy Boom Boom almost set my kitchen on fire with Jiffy. That's hilarious, because you couldn't, any kind of popcorn, you couldn't just leave it alone. You had to you know what I mean? You had to sit there and you had F's with it, right? You had to yeah, and then take it immediately off when it got done. You had to take it off the stove, or it would burn. And nothing, guys, to this day, there is nothing in this world, not a thing worse than burnt friggin' popcorn, or to that extent, burning popcorn at work, somebody leaving it in there and burning it in that. And I'd always just I'd just get up and say, someone's burning popcorn. This will never leave our nostrils for 2 weeks. And the whole break room will smell. Look how mad I get. I get so pissed when somebody would bring fish. I know you got to do what you got to do and you got to eat what you got to eat, but God almighty. The horrors of somebody bringing fish to the break room or burning popcorn, getting involved in what's on TV or talking to their friend or being on their damn phone and burning popcorn at work. I wish they never sold. They sell it in the friggin' break room. You know, the bags of popcorn, or people would bring it in. And I'd be like, oh, God, can't you just buy a damn bag of chips like everybody else? What's wrong with Cheez-Its? Eat a damn Cheez-It. You don't need popcorn. And then all day you'll be... God, get me started on freaking work popcorn. Do not eat popcorn at work, dude. Don't do it. Worst smell. I mean, it is. And it stays in you. And it like stays in your hair and your clothes and every... gold darn thing. Or people who wore, there was one lady, and she was not a big lady. She was a very small, petite woman. But she wore these damn boots, these clod-hopping boots, thick-heeled, chunky boots to work every day. And this bitch was like me. She had to go to the bathroom 14 times. Nothing doing. I thought it was like a galloping horse every time she got up. And I'd just be like, God dang it. Why do you sound like a 500-pound person on stilts walking to the damn bathroom? It used to get on my nerves so bad. Kathy says, several of the law firms I worked out banned it. Yes, and it should be banned. The managing partner of a firm I once worked for banned pop. Yes. It should be banned. It's a pet peeve of mine, guys. It's a real stickler for me. Yeah. Siobhan says, yeah, I had a coworker who did the burnt popcorn on purpose. Yeah, it's a thing. But guys, on our microwaves at work, we had those turn it to the thing. Or you could turn it to whatever setting or you could punch it in. We had them both. Okay, and there was a popcorn setting. There's not a microwave in this world that hasn't been built in the last 30 years. So why would you have it that doesn't have a damn microwave setting, a popcorn setting on it? So you'll get a few kernels that didn't pop. Who cares? Set it on the freaking popcorn setting if you're not going to watch it. And listen for the kernels to stop popping. Jesus, it's so simple, guys. It's so simple. They should employ one person to just stand in the bathroom or in the break room like a freaking valet and be the popcorn popper. One person who will keep their eye on the prize and watch that fucking popcorn and watch those kernels and listen for it, who can hear, who won't get sidetracked, whose only job is just to, you got popcorn? Okay, I'll take it. Thank you. I'll bring it back to you in 5 minutes. Go back to your desk. Yeah, I know where you sit. Yeah, you eat popcorn every day, you bitch. I'll come and bring it to you. Yeah, I'll salt it. Yeah, of course. Whatever you need. I'm the popcorn person. Is that so hard? Kathy, I don't eat popcorn, but right? I'm scared of them. Yeah, and that's happened to me too. I got an abscess from an unpopped kernel of corn once. Oh, it's a bad thing. It's a bad thing. Yeah, I had to get a crown and root canal. Yes, Kathy, we are the same. But also, I will tell you, I have been at the movie theater more than once and gotten one of those hulls. Yes, but not on my teeth. Teeth, awful. But in the back of your throat, and be choking to frigging death. That'd be a union job, yeah. You'd be protected. Yeah, you'd never lose your job. You were protected. Yeah. And it would get stuck on the, and you'd be, yeah. So I rarely eat popcorn, although I love it at a movie theater or really anywhere in public. That's just one of my fears. Because I don't like things stuck on the back of my tongue way back there. And so I will fight that hole. And you know, you get one that just suctions to the back of your damn throat. You know, where you have those bumpy things on your tongue in the back, right? Does everybody have that? Is that a thing? But you think that's what it is, but no, it's a hull of popcorn. I have gone like rinsed and nearly choked my ass to death in a movie theater before. I've had to walk outside. Yeah. It's a real freaking thing, guys. I worked at a movie theater while I was in college. Best job ever. Almost made it in my career. Right? Free movies, free popcorn. What's not to love? My friend always, I used to go mooch off him. He could bring his own bag to the theater, and he probably still has this deal. He's been the movie critic for the paper for 40 years. And we worked together at the radio. But he loved that job. They didn't pay him anything, but he loved it because he got free popcorn and he got to watch every single movie that hit the theater. And I'm like, but some of that sucks because some of these movies are bad. And he's like, I don't care. It's a free movie. What do I give a shit? But yeah, and he still to this day is like the movie critic for one of the local little papers. But yeah, I loved mooching off him and saying, what are you going to see tonight? Oh, it just dropped and they're holding my place. I'm going right now. And I'd be like, well, shit, let me go with you. Let me get a bag. And you just take a paper bag, and the girl would fill it. You got free popcorn. That was his perk. I love popcorn. I love the buttery, saltiest popcorn, and I love a mix of damn cheddar popcorn and caramel. Oh God, I love that. Oh, so good. I used to get free food from the food court in exchange for free. Right? Oh my God, I love that. So you worked out a deal with people. Yes. Yeah, that is a great job. Yeah, it has perks. They sell pre-popped popcorn. Yep, Skinny Pop. Just get that right. Get that and keep it at your desk instead. Right, I will pay for I'll buy it at the grocery store for you if you'll just stop popping freaking popcorn in the microwave at work. Please, I beg you. M&M's in popcorn. My friend loved that. That was her thing. She'd get a small popcorn and she'd get a peanut M&M and pour them down in there. I don't like the peanut M&Ms in my popcorn. I like the just plain. I'm not a Reese's Pieces gal either. No, I'm an M&M's gal. What do you guys? Pieces or M&M? I'm not a. I think it's unholy. I don't like it. I don't like the taste of it. Now I love a Reese's cup, but I do not love a Reese's Pieces. Just give me an M&M. White smart popcorn is the best. Yeah, actually, the popcorn, if you just take it out of the freaking thing and don't, you just get the kind without the butter and the whatever, it's good. And did you know Pilgrims popped corn and put milk on it and ate that? I want to say Pilgrims, but back in the day, I don't know if it was Pilgrims, but way back in the day, the settlers or whatever, they popped popcorn, and that was like one of the first cereals that kids ate. Seriously, was popcorn with milk on it. And I remember in school us having to try it. We got to try it. Kind of tastes like that stuff, the sugar pops without the sugar. Those corn pop things. Not the good kind, the yellow ones, but the one with the bear on it. They weren't so good. I didn't like those. It's kind of like that. It's kind of the same thing with that, but yeah, the holes and stuff. But yeah, in one of our classes in school, we learned that, and then our teacher let us try it in a little thing of milk. And yeah, I remember a lot of shit. And then I've forgotten a lot of shit too. I will say that. I've forgotten a lot of shit. Yeah, it's good. But it goes soggy really quick, so you got to really eat it. Sugar Smacks, yeah. But it wasn't so much sugar on it. Like, remember they had one variety that was just like the off-brand that didn't have the bear on it. It was kind of like just puffs. Man, those weren't too good. Oh, the cheddar, the white cheddar, so good. I love Reese's Pieces, really. Yeah, I'm not a Pieces gal. No. Steph says I love popcorn too, but it doesn't love me. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of people can't eat the popcorn if you have diverticulosis or diverticulitis. Yeah. So there you go. I guess I'm going to get off here, guys. I need to go down and it's shot night and probably I don't know if my daughter cleaned up, but she loves to cook. But she doesn't love the cleaning up of the kitchen, and I'm one of those people who the older I get, the less I like to even wash my hands with a I don't like a bunch of shit in the. I don't like it. I don't like a couple glasses in there. It's fine, but I don't like a big filled sink of damn dishes, especially for the neck. I don't like it. I don't like to go to bed with that shit sitting in my. I just don't. I don't love that. I don't love it. I'm not a clean freak in any way, as y'all can see. I have to tell y'all this. I did notice when I turned this light on, I did kind of have to run. This guitar was covered in a thick crust of dust. And I kind of cleaned it a little bit. I gave it a lick and a promise. And then I noticed my wall was very dusty back here. So if you guys have been looking at a dusty, and I'm probably looking at it now, I can still see that it is a little dusty. So I probably need to get in there and dust it better. I apologize for the weeks of you guys having to see just a dusty ass wall back here. Yeah. Yeah, it's a fair trade for her cooking. Yeah, I feel like it is. And plus, she knows I don't. She knows I'll do it because I don't. I just get to the point where I'm like, okay, guys, what are we doing with our lives with this? Aren't these dishes from yesterday? I can't deal with that. I don't like to go to bed with that way. It weighs on me, and I'm not a clean freak in any way. At freaking all, I'm the least of that. But yeah. I've been avoiding doing the dishes today. I hate it, but being lazy because it's freezing. But tomorrow, yeah, soaking them. Yeah, I get that. I get it. Yeah, it does gross you out because there's bits of food and stuff on there. I don't love it. I don't love it. I do not love it, and I don't. What does it take to turn the freaking thing on and rinse out something? It takes nothing. But tell them that I live with. And the dryer vent, that's another damn pet peeve I have. Freaking clean it out. Because if you don't, it'll get into your big dryer vent. Not just the dryer vent in the dryer, but the actual vent that goes outside. It'll get in there and clog things up and may cause a fire. So I don't like that. I don't like that one damn bit. Clean the dryer vent out too. But I'm the one that cleans the dryer vent out here. So there we go. Okay, guys, I've had a great night. I do appreciate you guys coming in. It was just, we just shooting the shit tonight. We ain't saying nothing really. It's bad, but we do too. We do too. And I feel bad about it, but yeah. Right, pans, utensils, and glasses. We're the same. We are the same. It's just so easy. And I started doing it because of, 500 plates in the damn. Yeah, and then somebody breaking a plate. That pisses me off too when you break some of my set. Don't like that. But yeah, it was fun. Yeah, I feel you, Kathy. We do the same thing. Whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, we are the same. Now, if you were to visit and I cooked you a meatloaf or something, we would, of course, eat off of my Fiestaware. But yeah, just us. I just grab a paper plate and go. But I don't know if this is something you guys, but do you see a lot of people posting the things that they eat? I see a lot of that on TikTok. Not particularly people I know. Just, I'll be scrolling and see people like, oh, I made this. And they'll have a big plate of food that they made. A beautiful presentation of the dish they made. And then they'll have it on a paper plate. And I always think like, if you're going to do it for the gram, put it on a real plate. I don't know. It's just like if it was me. You know what I mean? Like I would totally. But I think I've shown you guys stuff when I had my weight loss thing. Not channel, but when I did my weight loss thing. I think I did show you a lot on paper plates. But I feel like if you're going to do a whole presentation on, like you're going to do a whole video about just a plate of food that you're showing off or whatever, or you're cooking, yeah, go ahead and grab a real plate. Why not? That's just one of my things, guys. But anyway, you've only used the dishwasher 5 times? No, I use my dishwasher. Ooh. I'll go to the dishwasher and like I will run, like that commercial says, like, why are you waiting until the damn thing fills up? Go ahead and run it. It doesn't cost that much. So I'm always just like, well, shit. I'll just run this. Yeah. Yeah. Kathy, use that dishwasher, girl. But, you know, you do you. You do you. Thank you, guys. I love you guys so much. And tomorrow, I will tell you, I have a great video about a bag that I was influenced by Meredith to have. So that's coming up tomorrow. If you guys saw my live last week, you know what it is. And then Saturday, I have a huge haul. Louis Vuitton, Celine. That's not a common one for me. Fendi, and Coach. I know. You're like, sneakers? Bitch, I thought you was buying sneakers, not bags. Okay, these might have been here for a minute. All right, thank you guys. I love you guys. Bye. Bye.